What is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and I am here for a little bit of a quick live just to hook everybody up with some end of Leo season talk. Of course, I'm here in, I would call this now, like, I'm trying to find a good place for this microphone. I would call this now, like, the Leo King's, manor. my little manor, my little spot. Of course, right now, frustrations are in a lot of places, okay? Including just little things in life. Looks like I got everything good here. It's just me. we're just rolling, you know, old school, like how I used to do this in 2016, right? We're just rolling with me doing it. So it's Leo season. It's coming to an end, and I think it's an important time to pay attention to. Let's switch here to a little Astro Gold chart. We'll put this on the clock. And let's see what we got here. Yeah, that sun, 29 degree Leo. It's a moon in Libra, pose Chiron. But the main thing, of course, is the sun leaving Leo, going to cross over Regulus here in the next 24 hours. And Mars, that's getting ready for its big square to Saturn. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you all a little bit. And so we'll zoom in to kind of make this a little bit easier for people to see. Some people might be on cell phones, which is probably the majority of people. So there's an advanced mode I can do here, and then there is a take two, and then I can bring this baby down here so you can see the chart better. All right. People see the chart better? All right. So, but I will take back so everybody can see, because Astro Gold is the bomb. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to do a little bit of an aspect. We're going to do Mars square Saturn. Okay, so the first one's upcoming here on, as you can see here, August 24th, right? That's right around the corner here. That's going to be the first exact square. Now I want to show you how long this square is going to last. Now this is some frustrating energy, but I want to say Mars-Saturn energy can bring you a lot if you know how to plan accordingly, take action, and do something about it in your life. Like, this is definitely not a transit that is for the weak, let's say, because it's cardinal energy. 1, 2, it's Mars in its home sign of Aries. 3, it's Saturn in Capricorn, right? These are the big players. These are the battle of the gods, right? Like, and they're battling, you know. And you got to remember, like with Saturn's got Pluto and Jupiter working for him in his own house. And this is where Jupiter does not like to be. Jupiter, technically, from medieval astrology, I would say even, you know, prior to medieval, you know, ancient astrology, especially Greek astrology, goes back to, you know, right around the time that Constantine came in 325. You know, 15 degrees of Capricorn is the worst position for Jupiter. So, I've been saying this on Deep Astrology. If you feel like it's the end of the world, that's normal. Let me say that again. If you feel like it's the end of the world, the astrology is playing out perfect and everything will be okay and that this is normal. But you have to remember that it's like overly exacerbated because of the fact that it's Jupiter, but 2, because Pluto's with Jupiter, and we've not seen Pluto and Jupiter together in Capricorn for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, okay? And then you got Saturn in its home house there, which makes it even more restricting, more, I would say, I guess, harsh, right? There's a harshness to it, and it feels more closed in because you've got all these planets. What we'll do here, we'll make a third take, and I'm going to bring you all like super close in. All right, we are going to zoomify Astro Gold here. Okay, so let's look at this tight aspect here really intensely. So I mean, we're talking about within 10 degrees, you have the two biggest planets, which is, of course, Jupiter and Saturn. And then, of course, you have Pluto in between, which I would say is the most extreme. So, you have to remember, it feels like we're all being watched, which we are. That sounds like conspiracy, but it's not. Pluto is the watchtower of the underworld, and also the watching of where people are falling in line. And then you have Jupiter retrograde. So there's a couple things I thought about. And actually this is on, I thought about this really deeply, like after last night's finishing in the DNC. And again, I'm not getting political. When they do the RNC next Monday, I'm going to be doing all the same things, calling out all the bullshit. But I'm here to call out the bullshit on both sides. Just people are like thinking I'm all Trump just because it was just the DNC this week. But the DNC ran on that it's dark and light and it's the end of the world. And I really was thinking, I mean, if you guys want me to get real fucking deep, like, I will get real deep with you all just to fucking, let's get real deep, right? Like, let's get real deep. Because it's going to be interesting to see. We have no idea what the Republicans are going to put out there. But, again, if you're not in America, take this as wherever you're at in your life in the world. So we can go into my books here. And we can look up some real ancient astrology here. And, oh, hold on. I'm going to have to change my take. Okay. Yeah, here we go. All right. Oh. All right. Okay. So, let's, I think it's going to be 15 Cap. Capricorn. Chapter 1. Let's see, Jupiter, Capricorn. Of course not. Let's just do some research here for fun, right? Okay, yeah. So, here's a good example of the exaltations. Now, right, like Mars is, of course, how are they doing this right here? They're doing zodiacal houses of the planets, right? Yeah, so the sun's Leo, right, moon, and this is how it moves. I'm surprised they put it backwards, so it's upside down, but it is kind of an interesting way. But remember, Venus is the home of Libra, and if people need me to zoom in, I will zoom in. Okay, here we go. So, and then I will take it a step further, okay? Like, as we're looking at this. All right. And, of course, it's backwards. But I think what they're doing is they're trying to show the split between the day and the night in the way that you look at an astrology chart, actually, in a weird way. But, of course, right? Venus is Taurus. Venus is Libra. Mars and Mars, Aries, Scorpio. Jupiter and Jupiter are Pisces and Sag. And, of course, Capricorn and Aquarius is double Saturn against the enemies of the sun and the moon, right? So, because Leo, Cancer is the moon and the sun. So, here's some where it gets pretty interesting, right? Like if you ever do this stuff, it'll be like the degrees of the signs. So, Mars and Aries, it's like from the 1st to 6th degree is the Jupiter degree. Those are very for Mars, he does well, but also from the 7th to the 12th is Venus, from the 13th to the 20th is Mercury, from the 21st to the 25th, where Mars is right now, from the 26th to the 30th to Saturn. So Saturn rules this degree, and it's already with Mars in a Saturn-ruled area of Aries. Not, Mars can get what it wants there if it does everything correct and plays by the rules, and now it's being squared by Saturn, so it's pretty intense. But what I want to show you is when we get to Jupiter, right? So when you get to Jupiter, Jupiter is the ruler of Sag, So Saturn's ruler Capricorn. Okay, so the conditions now, yeah. Which signs I remember. Okay, here we go. Now I should previously describe the end. Yeah, okay, yeah. You guys should get this book online. It's so stupid that they won't give me this degree. Oh. Jupiter's found exactly on the angle. Jupiter by night on the ascendant will make the native firstborn of his brothers. Jupiter in this house. Yeah. Jupiter in the fifth creates great success. Jupiter in the greatest evil is created by Jupiter in the sixth house. Why won't they give me that degree? I'll find that in a second. But long story short is, Jupiter hates 15 degrees Capricorn, okay? And it's right there, stationary, stopped. Remember, what we can do too is we can back this out. So you add Mars square Saturn. You add that Mars is in Saturn's degrees. And of course, you can use different decans. I technically like to use traditional decans. And then I like to use Ptolemy Lily version. All right? So we can break that down if you really want to. But I really want to show people that, especially with Venus in square or opposition to this Jupiter, right? Like, this is definitely not this no matter what leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth about life. Like, and I think that we can all, and I think that I'm going to give it back up to Biden and to Trump, that it really is, it isn't about them. Right? They're going to both play the energies however it is. I think that we all need to wake up for 1 minute as people and not be blaming it on either person or by looking at either person as a savior here, which is like very hard for people to take in, because no matter what, let's erase politics, let's erase countries, and let's just say we're humans on this fucking planet right now. You know, we're at a time where it's fucking hardest it will ever be, okay? Hardest that it has ever been, let's just say that. Hardest it has ever been. And you can add the weird social and economic parts of being in the way that humans have gotten very lax and like easygoing in first world countries to that harshness, right? That, you know, but we don't know what the feelings would be like. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not in a third world country and I can't go drive there. I can't go fly there right now. It's not like they have like CNN or Fox News in the middle of like some third world country right now. Let's be real, right? So I have no data there, no Gemini data to see that. But, oh, here we go. So, you know, when we look at the sheets here and we take a look at what we're looking at here, and we can take it back here. Like, here we are with this Mars square Saturn that's coming on the 24th, right? So remember, it's going to be on the 24th, okay? And so remember that when we look at the exaltation points, and of course just looking at rulers and seeing if they're at fall position and stuff, Mercury is going to be plus 11 because it's at home. And Saturn's going to be at plus 2. And Mars, even though it's at home, it's plus 5, but it will be stopped retro. Remember that when this happens here, Mars is going to be stopped. Mars doesn't like to stop, you know. No, sorry, this is the square point, but it's going to be stopped. 13 minutes a day. It's not doing nothing. And so Mars still has some sort of power and energy, but it's starting to lose. It's plus 5. Saturn's plus 7. Saturn's got Jupiter, Pluto with it. Even though Jupiter's at -2, it's still an amplifier. But this is times where we start to feel like there's no options. Things aren't working the way that we want to in our lives. And this is why I'm going to bridge this to Leo season. Because if you see when the sun's in Virgo is when Mars is going to square Saturn on the 24th. But if I move the chart to today, right? And this is the end of Leo. So here we got this Leo sun here. And we got this moon in Libra that's going to go through a lot, right? This moon's going to be making squares to everything in Capricorn, oppose everything in Aries, and make squares to Venus. So we're going to get a big cardinal cross here that's already begun. And so this is like where people are starting to try to identify, I think, and then this is where in Leo you don't give your heart away to people that you think will change your life. So I'm going to just call everybody out. I'll call everybody out right now. This is not where you give your life to a politician. This is not where you go, this person's going to make my life better. Trump's not going to save the day, sorry, and Biden's not going to save the day. Your partner that you might hope for, some relationship's going to save the day, or, something that you want in your life that you can't have at the moment or something, and once you have that'll change it and that'll save the day? No. The ultimate lesson right now with this Mars square Saturn is, do you know how to build your identity, your strength, your courage, and your ability to become the person you want to be and go in the direction in life that you want on your own destiny? And with the sun at the last degree of Leo, it is the ultimate courage test in your true heart. So, like your heart, what I felt from this DNC coming into the RNC is that there's this whole now story of light and dark, and now what's being called the dark has to go prove itself that it's the light, and now it's just this. Everybody looking for that's going to solve the problems. If anything, both sides are causing more problems. Getting all Kermit on you all. Kermit fucking Jewel vape. Both sides are causing massive problems. This whole entire fucking year has been political problems because of the fact, if we do astrology, it's been Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and fucking Capricorn. Okay? So the truth is, every decision that we have experienced in our lives are ones on whether or not you're allowing the physical 3D world right now to completely ruin your day. Right? Like, even if we're in lockdowns or not in lockdowns or whatever, that doesn't stop me from building a life within the room. I mean, I'm in a fucking room. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in rooms. We're all in a room somewhere. So make the room the way you want to make it. Like, make the environment. Remember, this is North Node in Gemini with the sun and the new moon that just happened, of course, in sextile to it. So, this is great. This is great stuff that's going on right now to the North Node right here. And with the sun that's finishing in Leo. Remember that the sun, when it comes into Virgo, is going to create a shitstorm with a Mars retrograde and square the nodes when all that stuff starts to go down. And a new moon that's going to be square the nodes. So, and we'll just do 1 month from now, right? So we'll just move it 1 month. Boom. Okay, there's going to be when the sun's exiting Virgo. Mars will be retrograde at 27, square Saturn here in Capricorn. That's going to last for a long time. That's a month away. Mars retrograding, coming back to square Saturn. Venus quincunxing Jupiter. Jupiter will be direct at least, but Mars is not going to be happy at all. Okay, and Mercury opposed, and Mercury getting ready to come into its retrograde motion as we come into the fall. But let's move back a couple days, and let's show you the new moon that's going to be going down in Virgo. That's going to be, we'll make life easy. I'm old school, but we'll just do sun, conjunct moon. Make life easy. That's what's cool about Astro Gold. I love Astro Gold. There we go. September 17th. So, boom. 25 degrees square the north node at 24 degrees square. That's a destiny point. Okay? Or a fortune point, they call it. Or it could be a part of death, too. Part of death. You heard me right. Part of death. In your chart. Right? Because that's the 90-degree angle from the 180 of the opposition of the nodes. Okay? This is when the shit show is going to start hitting the fan. Okay? September 17th. Because Mars will be retrograde. You're going to have a new moon in Virgo square the nodes in Gemini. Opposing Neptune. Neptune starting to square the nodes. Remember, when Neptune starts squaring the nodes, I've been saying this one for a long time. You feel like you're in another dimensional shift. You also feel disassociated with reality. People are going to want to disassociate because the intensity of the weirdness going on is going to be so intense over the next 3-4 months. Again, this has nothing right now. What I'm trying to show people is it doesn't fucking matter about Biden or Trump. It does not matter. We all are victims because of Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter at the worst place it could be. Retrograde Capricorn within orb of the worst degree for Jupiter. Okay? So let's erase for 1 fucking minute, please. Please. Because I fucking will. I'll be real. I got people. I don't even care. You can leave my channels. You can leave my Instagrams. You can leave whatever. Everybody's like, you're fucking just such a Trumper. Because I fucking talked and looked at the truth of DNC and I said, when the RNC comes, I'm going to do the same thing. So let's look beyond fucking politics for 1 minute because that's the trap for all of us. It's a trap. It's a trap. We all are victim. I will admit 100 fucking million% in my life that I have been trapped just as much as you all and as much as anybody else. I will admit it. I will look to camera and tell you we've all been trapped. We have all been sucked in by the biggest planets. You can go look up at night and go see Jupiter, Saturn next to each other. Remember, you don't see Jupiter, Saturn for 20 years at a time. 20 years. What did we get all sucked into in 2000 when it was in Taurus? Y2K. Before that, the buildup like we're seeing now. Y2K. Britney Spears. NSYNC. Boy bands, fucking pop music, Ryan Seacrest. We all, like, that's where the value of life was at. I'm not saying you can't still value that stuff, but at the end of the cycle, 20 years later, you're not in that trap anymore. If you notice, like, well, I'm kind of don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Of course, I know there's those Britney people out there like, say Britney. I'm not going to fucking put you all down, but I'm just saying that's the trap. That's the trap. But it wasn't as big of a trap as now because Pluto is with Jupiter, Saturn. And smashed right in between. So if I go back to today, Jupiter retrograde. And remember, you got to remember, like, looking at some of this stuff, like, okay, like, look how many retrogrades there are. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Of course, Chiron. Mars is entering very soon. What am I doing? Today's the 21st? 31 days in August from Augustus. Julius gave us July of 31 days. The 2 months in a row that are 31 days. But I want to tell you that Mars is not happy. Mars does not like to slow down, and not slow down in Aries, where he usually goes to war, the way he wants to go to war, or he feels like he's got the energy that he wants to. He's got squares to Saturn, squares to Pluto, squares to Jupiter. He's not getting any good luck, right? And then he's got Chiron with him, and he's got Aries on top of him, who you don't want to fuck with Aries, right? Right. So like here, we'll switch this and we'll come here. All right. Let's kind of widen it a little bit, widen the scope, right? Like, you don't want to mess with Aries. Aries is named after the goddess of strife and discord. This is interpretations from Stephanie from Astrology. She describes adversity and issues of quarrels, rivals, revenge, and jealousy. So, I'm going to go back to politics for a second. You don't think that the DNC and the RNC, and you don't think that Biden and Trump are both playing the same fucking game? They're both quarrels. They both have rivals. They're both trying to seek revenge on each other because they both have done dirty shit to each other. And they both are jealous of each other. Eris and Aries, which has been here for most of our lives, okay? Eris is a very slow 10th planet. But it's where we, on the other hand, have more positive qualities of energy, resourcefulness, and desire to work towards self-improvement also are highlighted by the placement of Aries in our chart. So what we need to do is, there is no group. It's Aries. It's individual. It's not group collective. It's individual in Aries. It's not no DNC and no RNC are going to save our lives. No political thing is going to save our lives. It's ourselves. And it's whether we take action in our identification of self and that we define individually the life that we want. And if we're taking the identity of political systems, which is in square to that Mars, that means that we're going to all not get what we want. So let's say you're a Trumper and Biden wins, you're not going to get what you want. Let's say if you're a Trumper and Trump wins, you're still not going to get what you want. Maybe it's going to be where a bunch of the Senate or a bunch of the fucking House is going to be all Democratic and Trump won't be able to do shit. Then you get, maybe Biden might win and you're a Biden person and it's the same thing. Maybe the House goes Republican and maybe the Senate goes Republican. And you're like, fuck. Like, this is not going to turn out any way that anybody wants to, okay? Because that's the whole lesson is, did you fall for this trap? Did you fall for this trap? Did you? And this is about the end of Leo. Did you not also know with the trine of the new moon and the sun in its home sign of Leo to Mars and Aries? Did you not know how to connect to your true inner person and your true inner self and your true power of your identification of self? Like, if you don't know how to do that, then you don't know. You're not going to pass this fucking test. I'm just going to be honest with you. The world is ending in front of your face. The world that is ending of you being attached to traps, that you don't determine the destiny of life because you put it to this bigger identification in your head of all these things. This is Pluto on top of Saturn. This is Pluto on top of fucking Jupiter. This is a bug that has infested the structures of everybody's life, a psychological bug in your perspective of how to reach where you need to go. And there is not one side that has a better alternative to get the bug out, because if anything, both of them are trying to keep the bug within you more than you realize. That this is the strength where you have to pull the bug out in yourself. Again, look at all these people in here that are just like, vote blue, vote Brett Trump. You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. You really don't get it. People are asking what I'm going to vote. I'm voting for myself and humanity. That, you know what I'm voting for? Doing more videos on High Vibe. You know what I'm voting for? Putting out more truth to wake people up. You know what I'm voting for? Connecting with fucking people that are awake. You know what I'm voting for? Fucking making a difference in the world, individually. Instead of what? You're going to just go sit in your ass for another 70 more days and shit in the fucking pot more? Take a pee? Go fucking to the store? Watch TV and watch the whole fucking thing and not do anything to change the world and not do anything for life at all and helping and not being a leader and not being some sort of following you have some contribution to the world to bring out? And it's North Node in Gemini. It's about your own, with Mars and sextile to the North Node, by the way, your own individual voice and your own individual message, not of this political thing. Like, there was a woman last night on CNN that I thought was so good. She was a Democrat, too. And she was with, it was Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo and I forgot that one dude. He was like always worked for Obama or whatever. But she was like, we're not even addressing any of the issues that are really, that make sense. Like, let's be real. Like, a bunch of Democrats don't want Biden. And the issues that Biden represents are the issues that the Democratic Party don't want to do. Right? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. She's like, she said, we were too narcissistic as a party to think Hillary would win, right? And what I'm trying to show you all is that same thing is happening in the RNC. Everybody's just going to accept Trump to keep their values set, even though they don't agree with the way that Trump runs things, right? It's the same thing on both sides. Like, they're both. So if you're like, vote blue, and then everybody's like, vote red, right? Like, okay, you're getting the same fucking story. You can't fucking try and fucking tell me which side's better at this moment, because both sides are equally the fucking same story. Both sides are equally the same situation. And the ideology might be a little different, but the ideology is still going to lead towards the country or people across the world looking at America or looking at yourself. Again, getting lost in fucking this whole entire system of bullshit that this is about what you do to the world. Like, and people willing to waste their lives with South Node and Sag. Okay, waste their lives right now in these belief systems. When it's North Node Gemini, let's see what Stephanie has to say. North Node Gemini points to your key lesson in life. Okay, right. This is where you need to aim. You already have learned the skills of the opposite point, the South Node of past lives, right? But this also means more of a mundane way, like stop going into Sag land. Jupiter's retrograde, people. You know? Again, this person doesn't get it. Biden and Trump and anybody are going to do... Nothing will change the way you think it will change. You're still going to be pooping. I guess people really don't get it. So that's the other thing is, you know, this other trap is, look at this. One side saying it's racist, the other side saying that it's fucking anarchy out there. It's like, you can't win on either side here. I'm trying to show you all the Gemini perspective. Is the facts don't make sense on either side. The facts don't make sense. That people are like, who's going to be the end of the world? Ourselves. Ourselves. This is the quest to learn to see life from other people's point of view and become adept in the art of communication. You have a tendency to be restless and scattered. You need to develop focus and the ability to communicate your ideas in a way that helps the many people in your life. Okay? Of course, people can interpret that in a million different ways. But it's like, we all don't know what the truth is. If y'all want to get political, there's corruption on the right and there's corruption on the left. So, you're trying to fucking back both systems of lies right now? They equally have as many lies right now. Like, I used to do a lot of astrology schools, which of course people can still go get, but there's things where it's like, and I used to take Cornell notes when I was in high school. Like, Cornell note it. Do the Democrats and then do the Republicans and then do what all the accusation of all the lies are, and you're gonna come up with, when you look at both, going, I don't know how to fucking deal with this shit. Okay? Because what I'm trying to show people is you cannot deny at all, if you really want to take astrology for one second and and just go, what the fuck's going on in life? You cannot deny that this, and I will zoom in as far as I can zoom in for you all on these little fuckers. This is a fucking bug that has infiltrated your fucking soul. Political. Controlling. And what I'm trying to say is, either side is going to fuck us. Either side is going to try and control us in some sort of way. And this is where individuals need to realize that we are, in every country around the world, because no matter what your politics are, no matter what's going on, this is where the square point is to Mars and Chiron, this is why you're seeing victims come out stronger than ever. And it has nothing to do about Trump, and it has nothing to do about Biden, and it has nothing to do about liberal cities that are fucking fuck shows right now and fuck show racists that are around the world, right? It has to do with, how do you know how to fucking deal with the chaotic wounds and move through them in your own identification of self and not expect some fucking government to change it for you? That's just the fucking truth. Because if you don't know how to do it on your own, this is not group time, unfortunately. Like, I know everybody wants this to be like group. It is Mars and fucking Aries. I'm sorry to say, it is your individual shit. It is Uranus and Taurus, the worst place for groups. Because nobody's values are going to come together right now. Everybody has different values. Everybody has different values right now. You know what the only group stuff really is? Is coming together to help each other out individually, not through political, but through you reaching out to your friends and people and being like, hey, I got your back. What's the deal? Like, what's the deal? How can we help each other? What's your issue right now? That's why, I have Craig, right? Me and Craig work together. We've been best friends for a long time. When the cameras are off, it's like, how you dealing with shit right now, dude? Him and I are so honest with each other about life and about stuff that has nothing to do with that. If you notice with the shit that's going on in your life, it has nothing to do about politics. It has nothing to do about what the fucking governments have set up to do. Okay? It's whether or not you and yourself want to get through your own fucking victim shit first, which can be emotional. It can be in all these different directions. Because it doesn't matter. You can, astrology will show you the key to unlocking, to manifest the life that you want. Okay? And the way, if you really want to manifest what you want right now, is to really go, God is telling you to not stop in life, but God is telling you to stop with Mars square Saturn. Mars is saying, don't base your identity off any sort of victimization. and don't base it off identity of politics. That's the problem. Like, it's very simple to create the structure of the life that you want right now. And if anybody wants to continue and fucking write in this chat room that it's because I'm white, it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. You know what I'm gonna do? Because, number one, I'm not fully white. Which, lots of different people today are pulling that one, right? They'll be half white, or they'll be half this, or they'll be half this, and they'll be like, well, it's like I don't sit here and go, I'm Pacific Islander. My grandparents were born in Indonesia during fucking the Dutch that were colonizing it, and then Japan fucking, in World War II, put my grandpa in a fucking concentration camp for 3 fucking years, and that's how my fucking Oma met my Opa, was because, literally, my grandfather was in the concentration camp and was with an older man who fucking helped them, and they helped each other. And then when the war was over and Indonesia got its liberation, the old man went to my Opa and went, I want you to meet somebody. And it was my grandmother, and they fell in love and moved to Holland because everybody had to leave. And he was fucking, you have no idea. Like, people just have no fucking clue. Like, I know so many people that were in families that came in concentration camps, from Poland to, you know, then there's slavery. There's a million things. There's a million things. You know what I mean? Like, nobody has the balls to say that anymore. It's like the only narrative allowed right now is just one thing. And it's, of course, necessary, and you have to acknowledge it because black lives do matter, and to make sure that they always matter, and to make sure that nothing is that. That is not government, though, because all the governments prior to us made that available. Believe it or not. It's whether or not we as people and the people around you, or the place, if you have issues with the way, because I lived in LA and I just moved out, and I'm Southern California and especially LA is one of the better cities to be black, because everybody in the way that they treat people and they treat black people is normal. It's normal. It's not, we don't look at people as like separate in LA. There's not a lot of racism in LA, believe it or not. There is not. Like, believe it or not, also the minority in LA is white. That might blow your mind, but Mexican Americans and blacks, there are more than white population. So I just am trying to like help people start to see that it has nothing to do about politics. I'm not getting political. I'm trying to teach people that with Chiron and Aries, everybody's going to find a victimhood somewhere. I can play victim that people fucking think I'm a Trumper, right? I can play victim that I fucking worked my ass off my whole life to get where I'm at, and I'm a male, and people think and associate me as white, and then I'm a CEO and I own 2 corporations, and I am the biggest enemy and target right now by Black Lives Matter, by women, by I could play that victim card all fucking day I want. All day I want, but I don't. That's the truth. I'm the #1 target. They try to say that all these other people are targets, but no, they get the fucking stage. And just by people associating, like, oh, fuck, this motherfucker owns a business. This motherfucker owns a corporation. This motherfucker's white. This motherfucker, you know, has had all the privileges of the world. This motherfucker's a man, so he's probably a misogynist. Like, because he's a CEO, and he's good looking, and he's fucking a public personality, like, instantly it's just like attack. I could play that all fucking day, but I don't. So, just give me a second here. This is where Leo comes in, and that you have to find that that love in your heart for yourself. For yourself. You have to. You have to find the power in yourself. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. You really think that that's how hood I used to be, yo. I don't show these pictures to people. So when I used to walk around, people used to think I was a Mexican, and people used to think that I was in a fucking gang and that I sold tweak. So you want to start telling me I fucking was white and I had this white upbringing and all that shit? No. No. You try and tell me I look fucking white? Do you want... I never had one person assume I was white. Until now. Because I have money and I have a business and I fucking changed my look to get ahead in life. Does that make sense? Like, you just have to figure that shit out on your own instead of complain and make fucking shit happen. It's Capricorn. If you want to know the other side of this whole coin, right? Capricorn is fucking understand the system no matter what it is. It's going to take forever to change it because Capricorn takes forever to change anything. It takes forever. It takes a long time. And fucking learn how to present yourself. 10th house is presentation. Capricorn is presentation. And you know what? The truth is, back then, I did used to sell meth and shit. Just to fucking get my meth supply. I don't fucking condone that shit at all. It was stupidest things I ever did. And I stopped all that shit because it was ruining my life. You know? Like... But like... I feel like... Sometimes the record needs to be like set a little straight here. And I'm using it as an example to also help, like, people just see things from a different perspective and from a different place, you know? I'm with you. I'm just looking for something. This is my grandfather on my fucking mother's side. This is my Opa, who is an astrologer. He's Indonesian. Like, do you see the resemblance now? But do you think I fucking play this card out all day? Like, you know what the ultimate fucking, you know what the ultimate trigger might be? As I'm reading these comments, is, what if it's not even about race anymore? If it doesn't matter which race, it's about whether or not you know how to like look good. Maybe it's about, you know, what the number one thing about coronavirus and people dying is actually based upon weight and how heavy you are. Have you been looking at that? That's the stat in America. Why America's had so many bad deaths? It's for people that are obese. Anything I got on fucking television, do you think it was because of my race? Because they never put me as the white person. I can show you all my reality shows. I was not the white person. You know? Like, what I'm trying to show people is like you have to know what your identity is and then know how to play the fucking game. Capricorn right now. And it's not by how you change it, like the structure, because the structure is changed by us as individuals. So there's my grandfather right there. And this is right when they moved to America in 1956. And I think for the first couple of years he had a TV shop somewhere else. And I think this is about 1960. Yeah, August 1960. How funny. Exactly Jupiter Saturn right now. My grandfather opened Pile TV service and changed his last name to an English spelling because my family's last name, if you see this, my mom, is Pile, P-I-J-L, Pile. I'm Dutch, Indo. Did this stop my grandfather, who as you saw was Indonesian, from building a business in the most white area, Newport Beach, 15th Street, and had this until pretty much 2000 for 40 years? He sold TVs and he did service like himself. And then my uncles worked there too. Okay? If you ever been to Newport Beach, go to 15th Street. That corner, that was my opa. That's where I used to go see him. Used to go see there, and why do you think I'm a tech nerd? From that, right? Like, you know, people always hear me because they see my white heritage on my white side of the Mayflower and all that. And, you know, it makes me emotional because, like, my mom is everything in my life. Like, every year. So, yeah, he had it from 1958 to 1998. And my mom, every year on January 1st, because he died January 1st, 2003, she goes and she fucking stands there and she drives by and she wishes my grandfather love, even though he's passed away. She drives there, even though the place is gone. Every year. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to play victim that I get attacked all the time with all this bullshit that's going on right now on my channel and all these people out there. Because I'm going to just be straight up, I am the Leo fucking king because I called myself the Leo king. And I have a ton of Leo in me. So I fucking owned it. Own who you are. But if people fucking attack you, like, it's whether or not you're going to fucking let that stop you or not. That's what Capricorn square Mars is. Like, you're just going to fucking let people fucking stop you? And you're going to wait for the government to change it? Really? You're going to wait for the government to change it, which never has changed shit. Because the government never changed it until it was people who did things. But in Capricorn, you have to do it the right way, that everybody likes it. Martin Luther King did it in a way that, yeah, it was undeniable that we should listen to this guy. But let's do a trigger. Portland right now is not doing a good job of fucking selling it. If I was on Black Lives Matter right now and I was like a fucking in that cause all day, I would definitely be going a bunch of Black Lives Matter people. I would all be going to Portland and be like, why are you guys still fucking burning down places for no reason? And half of you all don't even fucking, it's not even about that anymore. Like, why? Why are you doing this? You're fucking us up. I'm going to finish with this about Leo season. When I, oh, here, I'll do this. Some people kind of want to know this because I read a lot of people like that. I was a car salesman. I was in boats, and I was in the Navy. And then, of course, I was homeless, and I was on unemployment that ran out, and I fucking, here. So, my life, I used to just party. I worked full-time at a place called Action Boats when I got kicked out of the military, and it was in the newspaper, and I became the parts manager, and I went to an area that made sense to me, Huntington Beach, California, because I was a wakeboarder, punk rock, liked to party, and my job was this at 19. And in life right now, if you want to figure out where to go and what job to be or your destiny, you just go to wherever that's going to be. That's what Mars and Saturn is here. Like, so I could be this crazy fucking person. This is me fucked up. That's who I used to be. And remember that being in the rave scene back then was not cool. That's me on LSD. By the way, Marcus, my best friend, who's black, just died this year. He had kidney cancer and was on dialysis for over 10 years. This is right around when he got diagnosed. This is 2006. And he was on dialysis. Yeah, this was Halloween with Mark Faria and Derek Carter. We're, that people just try to say, like, oh, you're white, you've had it fucking good. You know what made my life good? My parents didn't buy me a car. My parents provided a roof over my head. And my mom was a single mom who fucking worked at the school that we went to when my parents divorced and took like the lowest paying job that she could that still brought us to where she could go home and still raise us. It's not like my life was fucking like, tea and crumpets. At 19 years old, I did this. I took a store that was fucking from 1965 and I modernized it. And the owner trusted me because I fucking proved it and I would do extra overtime. And I fucking also, when the parts manager quit after a month and I was a parts assistant, I redid this trailer from 1965 and I did this all myself at 19 years old. It used to not look like that. This is me in the Navy. Nothing in life can stop you unless you choose to let it stop you. Literally. This was me and Chris Witecki when I wanted to be an astrologer. It's such an old picture and so small. That's in Witecki's apartment in LA doing astrology shows in 2009 and 2010. Because I wanted that. And I directly hit him up, and I had to be friends with him for a year before I met him. And then we were friends for a year, and then fucking before I put myself on camera. It wasn't like I fucking just, I couldn't get it today. So fucking, I guess it's because the government won't let me fucking become an astrologer. Here's me and Craig. This is like 2010? 2010? Don't pay attention to these dates because these are just old pictures they put up. But that's Craig and I in 2010. And that's why Craig's in my life, because him and I have had each other's backs for a long time. But he had my back when I was starting to DJ, and I had his back with whatever he's ever needed in his life, and it's a fair exchange. Nothing stopped me from going and being on Monster and on Power 106 and stuff like that. Like, fucking did it myself. Nothing. It wasn't my race. It wasn't my any. You just do it. You just don't. You focus on something long enough, and you're gonna fucking get it. You know what I mean? So, oh yeah, I was gonna go down here. Fucking. This is me with no money. At one time, I was fucking helping people trying to become stars. In my apartment, that was a piece of shit. This was May 8th, 2010. Right? Like, with nothing. Fucking, I got evicted from that place. I didn't get evicted. I had the notice on my door, and I told them that I couldn't do it. And then I fucking auditioned for a reality show with no money and nothing, and got on that reality show and became a fucking famous reality star. And I fucking had to do 2 auditions. And then became homeless. And then Chris Witecki let me live in his kid's bedroom. And I worked for Soul Garden and edited his readings and fucking helped him film. And this is me in between places, and I fell in love with my ex Erica, and she was in New York, and I was trying to save money just to be able to fucking be able to move her here. And then we finally made it happen in December of 2010. We finally, I had no money here. I had enough to pay the rent and make it all happen and go get her. Like, life is something where, you know what, it's lots of struggles. But fucking, you can do it, and this is going to be that ultimate test. I've been through this test my whole life. I was born with Mars and Saturn conjunct. So, and then I'll just finish with my other side of the family, which, this is my white side. This is my mom, my dad. You can tell my mom's Indo. And my family goes all the way back to the original pictures and on the Oregon Trail. My family has never stopped. They were Quakers too, so they were the opposite of what you think. But everything I've ever accomplished in my life, I went for it. Do you think that I just became a jet ski racer because I knew somebody? No, I fucking had to have the balls to fucking show up, sign up, and say, I'm in a jet ski race. Like, Hope in the Desert, becoming an astrologer and doing my own conferences for years. I created that doing it off YouTube with a fucking laptop. To have 100 people show up for 3 days, ask questions, and do shows. This is Age of Deception, actually, but it was Hope in the Desert. And DJ it, and pay for this whole place, and have everybody have a good time. this shit doesn't happen because some government or the way that life works. It's whether or not you have the fucking courage and the strength and the will and the passion and the energy to go fucking do it. And the astrology of where it's at right now is that. It's that. I'm about to like open up my last can of like, let's see how people really react. You know what I mean? It's gonna take me a minute. There's 1,500 pictures in here. Well, here's a good example. We'll go to Astrology Life for a second. Okay? Nobody. So, you have to remember, this is last year, or 2018. So, I decide, well, it's United Astrology Conference, so we're going to make a tour out of it. And we go to every city. We go to Denver. Right? That's being in that's Chicago. That's Denver. Then there's me and Nadia Shah. Then we make it to UAC. And I do a booth there. And instead of selling products or something like that, that's me in Chicago. There's Gemini Brett. There's Nadia Shah. That's Shaitan, who does human design for us all. He's a great man and human design guy. There's so many great astrologers in here. Best past life astrologer you'll ever fucking meet right there. Patricia Walsh. Rod Suskin. Nadia. Rod. There's Sam Reynolds. There's Sam Reynolds. And him and I had to get over beef. And we got over the beef right there. Adam Gainsbourg, amazing astrologer. Really great guy, too. And there's all three of us. What I'm trying to show you is that you have to, in life, make it yourself. I went to the conference, and instead, because they wouldn't let me speak, I fucking went there and I interviewed every astrologer that I could there. And no other... I know Chris Brennan did astrology interviews there for the Astrology Podcast. But we live streamed ours. And had hour conversations. There's me and Michael Luton, my favorite astrologer in the whole world. This is the best astrologer in the world, right here, Michael Luton. Don't ever get that one twisted. There's Craig. And I have to pay Craig. I have to pay everybody. So if you all think, I do this work for money, I do it to make you all the best content in the world and to give you it all selflessly. That's what Leo is. There's Amanda, and Amanda approached me in 2016 at the event that I was at and had the idea of Astrology Hub, and then I said, I'll be your astrologer and I'll make sure I can bring as many people as I want. And I love Amanda and I love Astrology Hub. And there's Rebecca Gordon, and she does health astrology. These are awesome people that I met, and I'm out there having a smoke with them. Actually, Jonah is amazing. I love Jonah. I met him just randomly. You guys should look him up. He does some stuff on YouTube. Then we did New York City. So then I do the whole astrology conference for 8 days, and then we're out in New York City and meeting everybody. But I guess I'm racist or something, right? Then I had to celebrate my 1-year anniversary out there in New York. So these are those pictures. Hopefully we can get through that. Okay, so, and then DC. Oh, yeah, no, not DC, sorry. We went to DC, but that's the first Congress in New York City, which is where Washington took the inauguration of the first presidency. It was New York City on April 30th, 1789. Then we went to Nashville. There's me and KRS. Him and I have been friends for a long time. That was my old buddy from fucking when I was a kid in swim team, and I hadn't seen him since he left. Then we went to Dallas, Texas. But the whole point of that was there's no job application for that. There's no job application for that. You just do it. You have to do things in life, right? You just have to do it. Mars square Saturn is the lesson, or Mars Saturn itself is the lesson to build a structure on your own and make a difference in the world on your own. Do you think that the government fucking told me to go do that? Tell me, do you think the government's going to tell you to go spread astrology around the country and do tours and go to the United Astrology Conference for 8 days and bring your whole crew and pay them all for 6 weeks on the road? And, you know, like, I don't know why anybody's telling me to chill out, because I'm pretty fucking chill. The whole point here is, if you don't know how to do you and you don't know how to do what you want to do in your life, you're going to get nowhere right now. And if you think Biden or Trump is going to do that for you, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. This transit will hurt you harder than you've ever felt in your life. It will hurt like fucking hell. It will hurt like hell. Even me. I love jet skiing. I end up in emergency rooms on 2 days before Christmas, 2017. Fucking sponson just breaks. I have somebody install the sponson and it doesn't fucking go well. You know what I mean? Like, life, it will hurt. It will hurt because you will get denied, you will get shamed, you will get, you know, nobody talks about in the astrology world how, if we're going to talk about race and we're going to talk about all Chiron Aries issues, fucking, what about, you know, all the Christians that have called in my life and said I'm going to hell? What about all the you know what I mean? Like, astrologers out there have had to deal with that the whole time, and we just keep doing it. Like, there's going to be no government action that's going to help astrologies be more astrology-ish. This is another thing, right? So in life, nobody is ever going to, in government, tell you what to do and change the world. This was the world's first live stream and virtual reality horoscope that I did in the world. And I still think to this day. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I fucking did a live stream at a virtual reality conference in Santa Monica. Fucking with Oculus, with Hyperator, who created the program. And that's the guy from Hyperator. The first in the world. That's not something that, you know, the government fucking put together. That's not... Ironically, it was during Trump. 2017. Right? I want to show you all how much I've been promoting this same image for a long time. Okay? Consume. What's the date on this? February 7th, 2017. Life is much brighter than your own mind will let you see. The ultimate challenge in this moment is the pain you choose to live. Look at me saying this thing 3.5 years later to you all. Or not to live. Instead of complaining and sharing news stories, go make some news yourself. Go change the world. Make a platform, be heard, and change people's lives. Sharing news stories doesn't do anything. Especially when the content is full of blubber. No substance. This trick is working. The substance I am talking about is the holy divine teachings of the God in the universe. The sacred world we are being deceived with. It is time to be a leader. It is time to see through all this nonsense. Every bullshit article, whether from the left or the right, is just another wasted day for you. It's another wasted day of your life. Since 2009, when I started on Ustream and Soul Garden, it was on the reality show True Beauty on ABC, I started pushing my beliefs, my positivity, and my view of the universe and the world. That hasn't stopped and it never will. All I see on social media is a bunch of people talking through news stories and the stories and opinions of others that they haven't researched themselves. All of this is a distraction from the understanding of the true nature of the universe, the real understanding of why we are here. Wake up. You have been used as cattle to feed upon. All of your energy and fear of politics and everything on TV is taking you away from knowing the ancient wisdom that is here to show you the divine life you could be experiencing and living right now. You have a choice in this world. Be truly aware or believe you are awake when you're still in the dream. There are keepers of this reality, and they are playing a game with you. Every article you push that has no merit to raising awareness that the reality is anything but what you have been taught, told to believe in, etc., is another win for the deceivers and the ones stealing your life. You are being consumed, not the other way around. But people want to fucking sit here all day and call me a fucking Trumper, which I take offense to for the fact that, number one, that's like fucking, that in my weird idea, that's racist. That'd be like somebody calling me a Bidener or something like that. Like you're putting an association as me as a human being based upon an idea. What's the difference between that and skin color? Or what's the difference between that and if I was gay or if I'm straight or whatever? What the fuck is going on, people? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Sometimes I have to do a video like this just to fucking prove truth, to fucking shut people up. But I don't care. I will fucking always be somebody who will say what the fuck I fucking mean. And people will take fucking things, and you have to fucking stand back and say the truth of who you are. And this isn't about because I'm backing Trump or I'm backing Biden. This is from backing my own shit up. Backing my own shit up. Backing my own shit up. Here we go. This is the last. This is where I'm going to finish for the Leo thing, but this is where people are going to start to see that, you know, it wasn't like this was me in my apartment, my one-bedroom apartment in Hollywood, doing daily videos at this point, already 2 years every day, and used every money from every reading, not only to have that apartment, but to make the green screen wall, to buy that camera, to buy those lights. It wasn't because of fucking my race or anything like that. Obama was president during this time. Same fucking shit's going down now with Trump. Whether it's Obama or whether it's Trump, nothing has stopped me from fucking being me and following my heart and being a Leo and the things that I love. And there was no studio. There was no nothing. This is just 5 readings a day. 6 readings a day sometimes. And that's how I did it. In my living room. You know what it was like taking a date there in Hollywood? They thought I was crazy. Probably still today, since I fucking look at my life now. I made a studio out of this room. Like, it's fucking crazy to me. You know how I got here? Do you think it was because of my political party? No. Because, believe it or not, when I went to the Oscars in 2014, somebody who was literally on the Academy watched my horoscopes. So I'm saying, you go far in this life by what you say and what you do, not by anything that has to do with the victimization that everybody is playing in every corner, left or right, or every race, or fucking any other fucking thing right now. I didn't fucking get there because I was in a movie. You know, this is the hardest ticket in the world to get into. This is the hardest place in the world to get into. No joke. This is the only place you cannot buy a ticket to get into. That's me on the red carpet at the Oscars of 2014. That was the year that fucking Matthew McConaughey beat out fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. And that woman fucking got me in on the board or whatever. There's my ticket. And I got an email and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go. Here again, filming in my apartment in 2013. Then, somebody in Portland that I love her very much, and her company that does who did all the PR for the Portland Fashion Style Awards, liked who I was and made me the host of the Portland Fashion Style Awards. If there's anything that you could do in this life, and of course I'm filming astrology horoscopes on my way to go fucking be the host. Nothing will stop you in life except yourself and all this political bullshit from both sides that are going on right now. Nothing stops you in life except yourself. And being a Leo is you have to do what you love fully, 100%. Because this is how I used to. If y'all remember me on the lake, that's before the apartment. So I used to walk with those little shitty fucking $200 cameras and fucking every day religiously be on that lake filming. Every day. And always putting my family first. Always seeing my family. Always, no matter what. Not to get money. This was my office in 2013 before Hollywood. And I remember thinking I was the shit at that time. That was Ascending Hearts. That was my first big I guess you could say retreat. But now we're going to get to where it's really, there's not much going on in my life here because I'm pretty much homeless. And my buddy Tyler Olson let me rent a room. At this time, I'm homeless. Here's me at UAC 2012 working for Matrix Software, Michael Erlewine, who gave me a job. And for that weekend, or for that week, sorry. Here's the picture. There's me on Venice Boardwalk doing readings on Venice Beach. So, do you think that I got here because of my race? Or you think I got here because I'm a Trumper? Or you think I got here because of fucking any of that bullshit? That's just all bullshit. I'm just calling it out as it's fucking true. Because, it's fucking sad. It's sad to see those comments after this blood, sweat, and tears of 8.5 fucking years every day fucking doing a video and showing up with no money and literally, no money. My girlfriend is holding, at the time, that fucking thing. And would sit down next to me there, and I would come home with as much money as I could for gas and food. So it fucking hurts. When everybody out there right now is so lost in this political fucking storm, and they are fucking now, because if I fucking call out the bullshit on the DNC, and I'm going to call out the bullshit on the RNC next week, getting attacked. Watch, when I call out all the bullshit on the right, it's going to be fucking that I'm a liberal. And if you think one side's better than the other, that's the whole ploy. This is one of the most humiliating moments of my life. Because I was failing in my reality TV career because it pretty much had ended and there was no more gigs and the gigs of 2011 had ended, and that's me putting a suit on because I was going to go back into the workforce. February 1st, 2012. And it was that moment and that suit, which was a piece of shit, cheap suit. It's like a fucking $19 Tommy Hilfiger tie. That I fucking looked at that picture. I didn't have money for a haircut. That's why my hair looks like that. I had no money for a fucking haircut. This is more than just me justifying things. This is me showing people that this Mars square Saturn is, if you're not getting what you want in your life, it's because you're in the wrong direction. And you're probably this person in the mirror trying to put a suit on and go do the thing that you think is the right thing to do. But you know in your heart you should be a fucking, like in my case, a fucking astrologer. Instead, I tried to play the safe route. I tried to do my non-destiny, and I tried to go back into the fucking workforce, which we all know was not my fucking game to be at. Right? I started to play the victim. I'm not happy in that picture. These were my dogs. With Erica. This was me filming astrology on my birthday of 2011 on an infomercial on television, Star Hearts. And that was how I survived in 2011. I was lucky to get that gig. I used the reality TV shit. But, you know, there's me on Soul Garden, still doing shit on Soul Garden in 2011. And that's the beginning of my, there's me at Reality Rocks as a reality star. Which didn't get me anywhere. I mean, it did get me to here, but, you know what I mean? Like, the end of the day is when you get back to the astrology, don't forget on this Leo last day today to remember and to make sure that you remember that right now, as we've got the clock set at 6:13 p.m. my time, that this sun in Leo that leaves and crosses Regulus is that you define the heart. Regulus is on the ecliptic, the fixed star. It's now in Virgo. The service that you do and what you do with your work has to benefit the world in some sort of way, and has to do something that takes extreme courage about taking a reality that you think, one, has to look a certain way when it doesn't. You're the one who creates the world that will be that way. You're the one who creates the world, not the government. That it's your destiny, all this Capricorn stuff. And with Mercury down Virgo, it's going to be stress case city because Mars is going to square Saturn, and we'll finish that whole square thing that I was doing, and I'll back this out. So we'll do Mars again, square Saturn. Okay. So that's coming up on the 24th, right? Here's the 24th. Mars square Saturn. Mars square Saturn again while Mars is retrograde on September 29th. There's going to be Mars at 25 degrees. Square Saturn at 25 degrees while it's direct. And Jupiter and Saturn will be direct. Mars will be retrograde. Saturn will have a lot of power. Mars will not. Mars will be weak. And Mars will be on top of Aries and be causing disruption and fucking bunch of craziness. And I'm telling you, these next couple months are going to be very hard. And that's why maybe I showed this presentation to you all that, you know what? It was a long, hard journey to get to me where I'm at today. But fucking I never stopped. And I never looked at my environment or I looked at my reality like, well, this isn't good enough. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never was like, God, I have to do a fucking studio in my fucking apartment which before that was more like, I need to be on Venice Beach doing readings right now for fucking donation. For donation. Or, oh, I'm going to just do a video every day outside. Every day. And I remember every day coming home after always walking outside and being like, fuck, man, like, I hope this shit fucking pays off one day. Like, I'm praying it does. Because if it does, then it'll pay out the right way that I know it will. But if it doesn't, at least I know that deep in my heart I fucking went into my soul and I fucking knew deep in myself that I fucking did what I knew I came here to do within myself. I fucking lived in my true happiness. I lived in my true heart. That the ultimate risk in life is not following your heart, no matter how crazy it seems. Not taking the ultimate risk of life with Jupiter and Capricorn. That's the only doorway there is a risk. When it comes to even relationships, love, job, anything right now, it's the risk. It's when you put up the walls right now, you're going to fail. And it's when you put up the walls, and especially you put up the walls like, well, nothing's going to happen until Trump does this, or nothing's going to happen until Biden does that, or nothing's going to happen until this person does this, or that person does that. Because that's giving power and control to these people to tell you what you can't do. And that is a collective message in the media with Neptune semi-square Uranus right now. That's where you have to start to take things back to your own self. That's what you have to do. And that's why I put this on YouTube, and that's why I put it on Facebook for free. Because I care about the message, and I care about fucking this message, that it will never be solved any other way. At all. Stop looking at the fucking boob tubes version of reality and fucking look at your own. That's what North Node and Gemini is, your own environment. And where's your platform of your own voice? Like, you like the cool view? I fucking even have it there. Did I even think that far ahead? Because that makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good that you like it. That's Leo. If you want that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had that the whole time. Could have used it more. This is what my life looks like at my desk. Right? Like, I have 2 screens. This is where I build a lot of things, and then this is you know, this used to be a conference room, and right now this is where I fucking made it the Leo King quarters, and that's a set, and that's a set. I wish that this camera moved more because it's just in a bad position, but you know, you just gotta like make the life wonderful. You just gotta make the life that you really want in your life. Period. That's all it is. Like, you make the life that you want to make in Leo and Aries Mars. Like, you know, it's not, you know, especially this whole political thing is the biggest waste of time that you're gonna see, and either in the next 3 months you'll be like, even who cares whoever wins the election, at the end of the day, you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen is fucking, you'll be like, I wasted 3 months waiting for this, and still I gotta wait for the inauguration, and then the inauguration happens, and then life rolls on, and it'll be the new year, and fucking things will be changing, and you really think that fucking both the left or the right platform is gonna save the world or save your life right now? Like, you are, and how you set it up. I mean, you all know I predicted the plague for 3 years, and that I set myself up as a corporation and a media company and a media business to be able to do to always have be ahead of the game and go and do an app in 2014, which is a huge risk. And I gave away 50% of the profit. But so I would always be ahead of the game for when tough times would come, that I would be able to always have, because more Instagrammers, more YouTubers right now than ever right now, they get lazy, and then they don't have a platform, and that's all they have, and then they have to do readings all day, or they have to do this all day, or they have to fucking copy people's content and fucking post it on Instagram to get likes to try and sell something. And Capricorn here is already too far up. Like, this is not a great time for starting a new business. But Mars square Saturn and all that is saying, like, you can start, just don't expect massive rewards like having a studio like this. I mean, this didn't come till 5.5 years, 6 years later, after me doing a video every day. 6 years later. So, you know, I'm going to end with that, but I'm wishing you all the best as we finish looking here at this chart. September, and then January 13th of 2021, we're going to see Mars in Taurus square Saturn in Aquarius. In Taurus. So this Mars square Saturn thing goes from now until January the 13th. And this is going to be tough. And you'll see Neptune there squaring the nodes. People are not going to want to be in the reality coming in. They're not going to believe the reality at the beginning of the year. So, I wish you all the best. I love you all very much. I appreciate you all very much. And I just wanted to set the record straight about a lot of things. But the main record that I'm setting straight is, don't get caught up in this political bug. Of course, I'm going to talk about it because it's something to talk about, but I don't base my life off of it. And I'm not afraid of either side. I'm not afraid if Trump stays in. I'm not afraid if Biden gets in. I'll fucking figure out a way. That's life. I'll figure out a way. You know what I mean? And if you're going to fucking try and sit here and tell me that your life is completely fucked up off a fucking president, whichever side it might be here, then you just don't know how to play the game. You know, we'll just use something, and this isn't going against Obama, because there was a lot of great things Obama did, but, you know, I think I was on Obamacare 1 month, and then I fucking got off because when I went to the doctor, the copay was more than if I had normal insurance, and I'm like, well, mathematically, and I'm a Moon and Taurus, so I'm like, let me get normal insurance, and I couldn't pick my doctor. It was stupid. So I went and bought normal insurance and paid the extra money. But then 2 was, when I did taxes in 2012, off the money I made off doing readings, I didn't realize there was a self-employment tax that Obama pushed harder. That was like 35%. So I had another money. I had to do IRS payments. Like, very hard. And that's when my accountant was like, you need to build a corporation. So 2013, I fucking made an S Corp. And thank God for those. So when people try to say the fuck capitalism and fuck, you know, corporations, that's what makes you free and liberty. They just need to teach you how to do it in school. You know? It's very simple. A lot of people just don't know how to make it in this world because they're too lazy to figure it out. And they're too afraid to make the steps and go through when the block hits. Like that, for me, when my fucking accountant was like, yo, you owe more money than you have in your wallet right now. I'm like, I know. You're going to have to make payments. And you're going to have to pay to take the risk of doing a corporation if you're going to continue to grow your business and take those leaps. And this is not a right-wing or left-wing thing. This is just like, because the Democrats are trying to still run under capitalism. So, you know, a lot of people are like against capitalism because they see inequalities, because capitalism equals freedom, because it's the only system that allows individual liberty to be whatever you want to be fully. So everybody has the same opportunities. It's equal. It's making essential equality, but equality of opportunity, not just everybody being equal and having only the same pay and the same this and the same that, because then nobody wants to strive higher in life, and then that's why there's no innovation in a lot of countries that way. Like, this is just like mathematics, and this is like do economy and look at and try and understand. So you got to get it either way. Even if it's socialism, I'll fucking find a way to get it. Even when they say, in socialism, which I don't think people get is, I don't know why I was doing this. Oh gosh. Jeez. Wrong camera. In socialism, if you go to certain spaces, they'll be like, there's too many jobs, or there's too many businesses that are like this, or we're zoned out too much in this area, so you can't do that, but you can do this. So maybe they might make me say, like, I can own a bakery, and I make it an astrology bakery, but I'm filming the videos in the astrology bakery. You know what I mean? Like, I will figure it out. That's the point. Well, I would say that Ron Paul is my favorite politician that ever lived and still is alive. And I would recommend that everybody follow Ron Paul because he's a true libertarian. And, I mean, he's been calling out the Republicans and the Democrats the whole time. So, and he was the one that was calling out the war in Iraq not to go. And he's the one who also told the Fed, everybody that the Fed was bad and that we were taking too much money. You guys all should follow him because he's a true patriot for the left or the right, or if you're a socialist or you're fucking like super right wing, he fucking nails all the points that we all are in the middle, like perfect. So thank God for Ron Paul. But I don't know if y'all know about Ron Paul, but he's a Leo with the moon in Taurus. I guess that's a great way to end it on a fucking last day in Leo. And Ron Paul and I have the same astrology, and I didn't even know that. I remember I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Ron Paul fucking got a moon in Taurus? Fucking wow. I was like, and he's a Leo? I'm like, of course. Of course he fucking speaks out against all this bullshit. Fucking, so. And he's always been looked at as the weirdo, and I always look at the weirdo. Look up old Ron Paul clips in the 90s and stuff of him speaking in fucking the House in the 90s, and him calling shit out, and the 2000s. Watch him. His son is Rand Paul. But his dad ran for president in 2008 and 2012 and almost fucking was going to be he was very close to being the Republican nominee over John McCain. He was very close. He was giving John McCain a run for his money. And I was part of that campaign as far as contributing and helping and bumper stickers and stuff like that. Anyway, love y'all. I'll see y'all later. And remember, it's Leo time. Don't waste it on giving your power away.